Hello everybody, this is Josh here and welcome to Buried. This is Buried is an interactive story. The plot will change based on the choices you make. The story is broken into 5 chapters, play straight through at your own pace. There's no waiting and no pauses. Enjoy and choose wisely. As it said, Buried is a choice-based game. I think it's a horror creepypasta from what I've seen. You can get it off of Steam for like $2, I think. But I'm gonna play it, so yeah, let's begin. I open my eyes and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back and everything seems hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful. Except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened and my head. My God, my head hurts. And a ringing in my ears. Was this an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming, but after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not there. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat, but I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. Alright, so should I search for the hard hat or forget the hat, search for the crew? I suppose we need protection. I get up on shaky legs and look around for a moment. A few nearby trees look to have been splintered and broken at the base recently. They certainly weren't like this earlier. Searching for the hard hat feels normal. It makes you feel like maybe there isn't something wrong here. I see it behind a fallen log about 10 feet away from me. How it was thrown so far is beyond me. Driven by nothing more than habit, I walk over to it, pick it up, and place it on my head. Next I walk over to the center of the logging site, and don't like what I see. Alright, that's fine. Continue. What? The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we had managed to stack on a truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and the logs hanging off the back. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me and this is ringing in my ears. I can't hear anything. Not birds, not my footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. I run through a quick mental checklist to make sure my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I'm 41 years old. The year's 2017. I own a small logging company and we've been logging in this strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. That's a relief, but it also makes me fearful because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. Look at the truck. The truck. The hitch is completely broken, like it was blown off in an explosion or a really bad accident. Had there been an explosion, all of the fuel on site would have started a fire. But there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walked through the area, but Dennis had been working. Where Dennis had been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox is open, an indicator that he'd been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one is here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Not that it matters, the reception is crap out here. Well, I can't... I guess let's try, I don't know. I pull out my cell and try to make a call to Frank. It rings and then just goes to his voicemail. But before I can leave a message, my phone goes dead. Shit. Great, I hope I don't need my phone anytime soon. Might as well start walking. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods, down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them, but with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My God, I can't remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that underneath the bulldozer? Oh my God, it's a leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looks unstable, like it might roll some more. Might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him there. Go look. Why can't he just have like a portable phone charger? That would solve all of his problems. Alright. Hey! I yell. Are you okay? Are you alive? Holding onto my hat, I skip over the wrecked equipment and stray logs to get closer. I can see a bit more of the log. The jeans are soaked in blood. I recognize the work boots. It's clearly Tony. His leg is bent in an impossible angle, nearly crushed flat. The closer I get, the more apparent it becomes that Tony didn't survive. Maybe that isn't Tony, I don't know. Pull the body out. I try to pull him out, but he's just not budging. That's when I see the blood coating the ground around him. It's thick and fresh, so dark on the dirt that it looks black. As I'm tugging, I hear something crunch, but I somehow manage to pull him out. His legs are absolutely crushed, and his stomach looks deflated. Blood is covering everything from the navel down. His face was turned to the right when he was crushed. It looks like a broken plastic mask, seeping with blood and bits of shattered skull. God. My God, I can't believe this. I have to turn away. That's when I hear a deafening creaking noise, and I'm bashed in the head from behind as the bulldozer shifts lower to the ground. I roll clear and end up on my back, my eyes struggling to focus. I'm a little shaken up, but I'm fine. Thank God I was wearing my hard hat. Fuck yeah. I quickly get up and dust myself off. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. So if I didn't have my hard hat, I probably would have been killed right there. So that's good. Remember, safety first, guys. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not in that. I'm sorry, guys. You might be able to, you might not, I don't know. As I walk through the stacks of log from last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears, it's terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds, and it sounds like it's coming from far away. I can't help but wonder, is it my ears, or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy, and there's a smell, like the atmosphere of a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it, I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze to rustle the leaves and branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that I never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during the, well, during the what? Accident? Or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground, motionless, about 30 feet away. Yo, Dennis. He's just sitting there, not moving. I walk up slowly next to him. Dennis? Hey man, can you hear me? I tap him on the shoulder. He looks up at me from the ground, clearly coming out of a daze. Yeah, Roger, I hear you, he says. Dennis is built like a wrestler and he has a tough personality to match. But in this moment, he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him, the fear on his usually confident face is alarming. What the hell happened? What's going on? Well, I don't really know if there was an explosion, but I think there was. So, an explosion, Dennis says. Yeah, I believe that. Why do you say that? Did you see something? He doesn't respond. Well, fuck. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods as if he's just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned. The posers too. The posers. The posers. The dozers too, I say, shifting my hard hat and wiping my forehead. You okay? I asked him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he's come to work a few times looking like he'd been in a bar fight the night before, but I've also seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him with news of Tony's death right now. Not before we know what's going on. But he has a right to know. Yeah, he kinda does. You're up front with Dennis about Tony. Dennis's eyes fixate on me, startled. He was crushed under the dozer. Dennis pauses for a moment, like he's trying to understand what I said. His eyes narrow and his bottom lip quivers. Shit. And I can tell that he is frightened. He is fighting back tears. He and Tony had been tight, almost like brothers. Hey, he adds quickly, as if trying to escape the reality of Tony's death. Did you see that light? No. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger. It was like this flare of white light. It came right up out of the ground. Like an explosion. So there was an explosion. Maybe it was some equipment, or this was no equipment. Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right out of the damn ground. What the fuck? What did it look like? Like looking into the sun. It just feels like someone stabbed me in the eyes with a hot knife. When? I'm not sure, but I had finished about 10 trees for the day and was about to top one. That's when it happened. You're almost done with 10 trees? Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done. And that's when that light blew up. Why? You don't believe me? I believe you, man. You believe Dennis's story. Every time I do something like that, I hear a huge loud noise, like a dun, and it's freaking terrifying. He saw what he saw, I think to myself. He has no reason to lie about this. My God. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, he says. But if I'm being honest, it scared me pretty bad. And if it's all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood. The red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch. I hate that word, splotch. That makes me worry. How did you get that injury? Okay. I'm not sure. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then that I notice that the strange ringing noise is still filling the air. Hey, do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him this question, and he just nods. I thought it was just me. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. We'll be okay. I don't want to scare him any further, I guess. Let's be realistic, I tell myself. I might as well try to be empathetic. Out here in the middle of these woods, the ringing could be anything. Maybe a car alarm from through the woods or something. Still, even my passive comment seems to have reassured Dennis. He looks a bit calmer, more relaxed. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had a cell on him today. I can't, I say, cursing myself. I used up my battery trying to call you earlier. No, I didn't. I used up my battery, but I did not call Dennis. You guys can rewind. I'm pretty sure I called Frank. I know I called Frank. It's then that I notice something that makes me stop. A 10-foot wide hole in the ground. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth. Wide but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted. No shovels or diggers used. Dennis walks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground. He muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here. At that moment, that ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on here, and we might not be safe here. But that ringing sound could be a clue to where the rest of the crew went. I think we should check out the sound. For story purposes, you decide to check out the sound. Something's not right. And if there's a mechanical noise like that, you think someone is out here? Maybe. I think we should at least check it out. They might be able to help. Yeah, you go right ahead, he says with a grin. I'll be here waiting for you. Better hurry, though. Dennis doesn't look like he's in the best shape to be trouncing around the forest. But we need some answers right away, too. Fuck. I want to bring Dennis with us because I'm afraid something's going to happen to him while I'm gone. No, you're coming with me. I bend over and hoist him up against my shoulder. He resists just barely and then gives in. He's looking at me like he's terrified of me now, making a moan in his throat. We start moving through the woods quickly. With no idea where the rest of the crew is, I worry they could be in danger. Every tree out here looks exactly the same. I grew up in the country and can find my way around the forest without much of a problem, but I'm feeling dizzy. I'm leaning against a tree when I see something that has no business being out here. Our logging crew has been out here for 3 weeks, and I've never seen it before. Oh, fuck, what is it? I chose to keep Dennis with us because something might happen to him, and let's hope he doesn't slow us down. Ooh. What is that? Is it an entrance? It's a small building, sort of like a mixture of a shack and a bunker. It looks to be made of concrete, but moss, weeds, and plain old erosion also make it look sort of mystical. It looks like something out of a demented version of a medieval fantasy movie. What the hell is that? Dennis asks. Some old power station? Dennis shakes his head. Why would one be way out here? He's right. I can't come up with a legitimate reason for something like this being here. Do you think the others maybe went in here? Why would they do that? I don't know, but they weren't out here. If they are inside, they're probably dead, like Tony. He looks at the ground as he says this. Oh, Dennis. I want to go inside, not just to find my crew, but also to appease my curiosity. That ringing noise is coming from inside. But something about this place seems incredibly strange, especially located all by itself out here. It simply does not belong. I wonder, do we knock or just go in? Dennis asks. I can tell that he is trying to make a joke, but it falls flat. I'm starting to think his humor is a defense mechanism for his fear. We both look ahead, take a moment to realize what we're about to do, and start forward. We get no more than 3 feet closer when Dennis wobbles. Reach out and steady him, duh. Don't let him fall, frickin' douchebag. I reach out quickly, straining my injured knee. I barely make it in time, grabbing him under his arms and keeping him from hitting the ground. I'm okay, he said. Just, can you help me walk for a little while? Just help me inside, please. I can't deny him his request. I've never seen him this week, and it's a little uncomfortable to see. Maybe I should have left him back there so he could at least relax and not hurt himself. It makes me glad I decided to keep him with me. Oh, never mind. I help Dennis into the weird little building. The front door opens easily even though there's clearly a lock on it. Maybe the lock was supposed to keep someone in. Fuck. It's hard to tell. I still hear that ringing noise. It's definitely coming from in here. Stretching out in front of me is a small interior to match the outside. The building is totally empty. There's a concrete floor and dingy, I don't know, featureless walls. There are no windows, giving the place an even more isolated feel. Still, we hear the ringing noise coming from somewhere in here. It's louder now, more prominent. The interior seems confined at first, but a small set of concrete steps leads about 5 feet down, revealing a corridor. Alright, what have we got ourselves into, guys? Oh, hey. That is fucking disturbing. There could be like a freaking monster standing at the end of the hallway. That's so freaking scary. It's a massive corridor. In fact, like I'm in some kind of building underground. It seems to go on forever. That doesn't make sense because it was just a hill when we walked in. This corridor is mostly dark, with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I assume we're now underground because this corridor extends far beyond the walls of the building we entered. True. I realize that someone might not appreciate finding us here. I don't... walk quietly. Tiptoeing won't do anything. I'm eager to find out what's going on here. Our footsteps echo loudly in the dust and the dirt. Dennis leans on me for support. If there is anyone here, it's not like we're trying to be quiet and stealthy with the intention of sneaking up on them. If anyone is listening, they definitely know we're here now. Fuck, this is creepy. As I carry Dennis to the far end of this otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you okay? Stop worrying, man. I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest. But looking at him, I'm not so sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often, coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs? He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort to not fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at them, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. Alright, I should have left Dennis behind, but I don't want to... I guess a team of two is better than a team of one, even if the other person is injured. We can help each other, because we're both injured. As I head down the stairs, I notice that they look aged. That damned ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it a few steps down before he's leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he's just finished a marathon. Pause to give him a break. He needs to relax. Let's take a break, I say, putting my hand towards his shoulder to help steady him. Dennis lets out a sigh. Thanks, I don't feel too great, boss. As you both squat down on a stair, my mind sees to lock in on the unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married, and I've met his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never again get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. We will rock you. Alright. Joe. Well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are deadbeats, so he has been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Maybe I can still find him and still get to hear Frank singing in his deep baritone voice after too many drinks. After a few moments, Dennis says, "Alright, let's keep going." We both stand up, leaning on each other. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out and search for the next step. Don't you hate that, when you don't want to turn the lights on, so you have to walk down your house stairs with the lights off, just feel around? I can't help feeling like a child as a very powerless fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall and looks just out of place down here as I feel. Whatever that means. A sliver of light steps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed print above the panel says, Level 1 Entrance Gate, Transport Sector. And there's a button with no label. Don't push the button. Let's inspect the panel, because we don't know what that'll do. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind, each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress. Shut down engaged. So this is a lab. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phrases has a slowly blinking red light next to it. The only power light on this whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. Oh god. What the hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking in the lead. Let's go, he says. I want to find out what the hell this place is. As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping, or whatever it is, gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. You sure you're healthy enough to keep going? I ask. It doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now. He seems scared, something I've never seen before. Angry, yes. Upset, yes. But Dennis is never scared. Okay, this one has sound heartless, but maybe Dennis can, like, distract the monster while I run away. What did you see? I don't know what it was, boss. It was like someone had left the radio on, crackling. But we don't have any radios at the site. It was, I don't know. It's like something in the forest was moving. I gave him a doubtful look and he cast his eyes to the ground, frustrated. I know how it sounds, but I know what I felt. It was like walking into a funeral parlor, feeling death and gloom everywhere. I've been so preoccupied with my own fears I nearly forgot about the ringing noise. It had become just background noise. We take a few more steps and I can now see where we are. It makes no sense. Yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here. Oh fuck, end of chapter 1. Okay. Alright. Respect the dead. You and 64% of players pulled Tony's body out from under the bulldozer. Sweet. Secrets. You and 76% of players were upfront with Dennis about Tony's death. Trust. You and 55% told Dennis you believed the story. Curiosity. You and 75% of players went to investigate the ringing. You and 64% of players decided to bring Dennis with you. Alright. Well, that seems like a good place to stop for this episode. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.